The Samurai's been around forever. I mean, before side-by-sides, it was a Samurai.
Does it run?
Whoa. I have no idea.
It's in rough shape. You can clearly tell why this thing's free.
Sit.
If you're gonna rock crawl this thing, we've got to get rid of them leaf springs.
Everything has to be redone.
Wow, what do we have here? It's a Hellcat Spot Jeep.
When you're cruising about highway speed, it literally is like skating across the freeway.
It's rightfully scary.
Sketchy.
Changing the axle assemblies would really step up the strength a lot and addresses brakes.
This is our first Gladiator brush guard we're building.
I've never seen that done on a Jeep before.
Oh, wow. I can't believe that.
I just got a call from a potential client. A guy named Earl, he said he got a build for us, so we're heading over there now to check it out. I'm not sure what he got, but he said it was some type of off-roading, so we're definitely checking it out. What's going on, man? You Earl?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
How's it going, man? Nice to meet you. I heard you're looking for us.
Yes, sir. I was driving down the road here and I seen this off-road looking vehicle.
This one over here?
Yes, that rock crawler looking thing. I stopped here and talked to the owner, asked him what he wanted for it. He said, hey man, if you can get it off my property, you know, get it out of here.
That sounds like a deal to me. Let's go check it out.
All right. I just wanted something to drive around the mud park, a little entertainment. So the first thing I did was call who I know best. If you live in this area, anybody knows Wide Open Garage. They build humongous monster trucks.
I mean, I've seen some pretty bad trucks, but does this thing even run, Earl?
I have no idea.
I mean, does it have a motor? Let's see here. All right, that's a start. Now, I can clearly see it was a Samurai, but it needs some work done. All right, so you know the Samurai's been around forever. I mean, before side-by-sides, it was a Samurai. They're small, you don't need a big trailer to haul it around. Weekend warrior. It's definitely been sitting for a while. What are we gonna do with this? I think we'll leave this guy his tire, huh?
Yeah, we can do that.
Bucket for the horses?
Whatever parts you don't
We
need,
can get
brother,
rid of
chunk
that
out.
too, huh? Oh, we got extra tools here. No, that's a shifter. Might come in handy later.
Yeah, the man said take it as is.
I mean, you could tell someone actually loved it at one time. Definitely already started modifying this thing, but it's in rough shape. I mean, you can clearly tell why this thing's free. This is a bad shape, Earl. These tires and, I mean, there's no seats.
Well, can you make it work?
Absolutely, man.
That's what I want to hear, brother.
I mean, what do you want to do with it?
Well, basically something I can tool around and maybe do a little rock crawling or go to the mud park, and I want it to look good, run.
Run's kind of important.
Yes.
It doesn't look like it's running at this point.
Well, yeah, but it was free. So what can you do with it?
Oh, we can do a lot. You know, we can lift it, we can make it pretty, we can put a snorkel on it, pretty much anything you want to do. I just really need to get it back to the shop, see if it runs, and then we can go from there.
All right, we'll do that, and I'm gonna leave your imagination and let you do what you do with it, because I know that's what y'all do for a living.
All right, well, sounds good, man. We'll get it back to the shop.
Appreciate
nice
it, sir.
meeting you. It's not a bad find, you know. This guy got this truck for free. I'm jealous. I think anyone would be jealous. You know, the off-road industry has just blown up here lately. I mean, people are using these vehicles for driving them to work, to, you know, beating them on the weekend, and this is kind of what that guy's looking for. You know, we love every build that we get, but Dad's gonna love this one extra. I don't think there's anyone out there that appreciates automotive finds more than he does. What's up, man? What do you think about our new build?
Where'd you find this thing at? It looks pretty rough.
It was literally laying in someone's yard.
Really?
Usually you find these things, but this
yeah.
guy found this. It was free.
That's the way I like it, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that.
Well, he pretty much turned us loose with it. Just gave me a budget and said load it up. And he wants a cruiser. He wants it to look nice, something he can jump in, be reliable, you know. Wants to do a little rock crawling and maybe a little mudding.
Yeah, I think this will make a good build for somebody. We can make that happen. If you're gonna rock crawl this thing, we definitely gotta get rid of them leaf springs. That ain't gonna work. We got a 4-link this time.
Absolutely. Possibly a 3-link. I don't know if I have the room to do the 4-link. Also, new coils in the rear, 4-link in the rear.
Some powder coating?
I'm thinking powder coat everything.
Okay, what about these ugly wheels? If you're gonna do that, these wheels gotta go.
You don't like those? Those are your time.
No, hey, watch it there. We're not worried about my time.
Yeah, we're
Them
gonna
wheels ugly. Does it run?
That's where you come in.
Well, we'll have to get a battery in it and see
Yeah.
what we can do with it. I ain't liking this piece of a bumper out here either. You think you can weld something up better?
I don't like none of that. I'm thinking a winch maybe up front.
What's up with these wrenches in here? Looks like some welded up stuff for a shifter.
Yeah, maybe they use those on the trail, you know?
Maybe powder coat them. They might look better.
Right.
Did you get the panels for the side?
Some, but some are missing. We'll have to make them.
How about a door?
No door.
Okay, well,
I know you know where one's at.
I do know a place I might could get a door. Cage looks pretty good. Just need to clean all that up, paint it.
I'm just gonna go out and say everything has to be redone.
You think he'll go for that? He'll be happy with it?
He's turning us loose.
I like that.
Said do what we gotta do.
Spending somebody else's money. That'll work.
Well, there's no telling how much work, really. Honestly, we need to get it off, get it on the lift, and
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Uh-huh.
Let's do it.
You know, we're over here on the north side of Houston, and we're not too far from extensive. You know, I've been on this property for a long time, but Daniel, he grew up here. You know, we have quite a bit of land here. We got plenty of trails and a shop.
You wanna go up?
Come on.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready. Daniel started riding four-wheelers when he was young, and it just took off. There she goes. You know, and we're just kids that never grew up. We still play in that mud.
Come on, give me one more bump.
Here you go. They got it. Ooh, my calves are gonna feel this later.
Looks pretty good.
Well, let me get this thing tore down, but first, we need to see if it runs.
Uh-huh.
Did you get that battery?
I think we got one over here hot, ready to go. Throw it up there.
Yep.
It'll fit in spine. Let's check the oil in this thing. Yeah, it's good. Pretty clean. Probably wouldn't hurt to change it, though. Got some gas?
Yep.
What do you think?
Let's see what it does.
Here goes everything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey! Oh, yeah, this baby gonna run.
That runs pretty good.
Yeah! It's not missing or nothing. That's gonna save us a lot of work. That motor already running. Nah, we probably should tune it up, though.
Yeah, the tune up on it, do oil
Okay.
change on it, plug wires,
All right.
you know, all that stuff you like to do. All right, now that we got it up in the air, I can clearly see the exhaust is in the way. Or the 4-link, I don't even know if we can 4-link yet. I'm gonna have to do some measuring. Oil pan might be in the way. We might have to go with a 3-link. For sure, the brake lines are all in the way. Definitely our goal here is get rid of the leaf springs, because, you know, these things will just beat you to death. You know, we're gonna do a coilover on it, which is gonna give you a lot better ride. Of course, it's gonna flex more. We gotta have flex for the rocks. You don't wanna be, you know, upside down, even though it's okay to be upside down every now and then. We'll go ahead and get the wheels off.
Tires don't look too bad.
Oh, yeah.
So we brought this forklift in here so we can hold this axle up. We're gonna cut the U-bolts out of it and cut all the stuff off there we don't need. There you go. All right. Whoa.
That's pretty much it. It's pretty much gutted underneath there. Anytime you salvage a vehicle from the side of the road, you gotta figure out what can be salvageable and what can't. These axles are in good enough shape to be reused. We just need to clean them up.
Okay, so on this Toyota axle, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove everything that was on the original suspension, and we'll be able to just lay our brackets right on there anywhere they fall and weld them right where they need to be.
All right, Grandpa's grinder. Oh, man. Well, this is actually my grandfather's grinder. I mean, when you need to knock some weld down, these whole grinders are the way to go. This thing probably weighs 10, 15 pounds. I don't know, 20 minutes in, it feels 100 pounds. All right, basically, you know, that wraps it up. We got everything knocked off, clean. I mean, now we got a fresh start. Next step would be getting it under the Samurai and figuring out what room and what room we don't have for the 4-link.
Hold on, Dave. Whoa.
Next step is make sure the truck is level. You don't want this thing riding crooked. We gotta drop a center line with a plumb bob, center line on the axle, and get the axle trued up. Once we get that set up, we'll go ahead and get it at ride height on the axle. And from here, we can see we got just enough room to fit the 4-link.
You want to figure out where we're going to put these link bars?
Yep, that's what we
Bro,
gotta
this
do.
is going to be pretty...
This is where my chair comes in. Let me get my chair. And now that we got the axle center line, try to figure out where my links are gonna go. You know, every 4-link is usually different. I mean, you have to figure it out. So that's what we're gonna try to squeeze in this small package we got here. We got our rock crawlers axles in the right place, and luckily we got enough room for this 4-link, so we're gonna go ahead and make some mounts. I got all the tabs cut out, still needs to be trimmed back a little bit. You wanna try to close up all the gap, get a real nice weld, do some more trimming, then we'll get it over to Robert and he can get it cut out for us.
Let's see what we got. So what we're gonna do here, we're taking these cardboard pieces and we're gonna transfer these from this cardboard piece with all the measurements on it, and we're gonna make them over here on the CAD machine. Way back when I was in school, we had this program and it was available for everybody that wanted to take that class, and I was able to retain this information over the years. I was really good at math in school. It wasn't hard for me. I guess I was blessed in that. Okay, so this thing says it's 0.375, so we'll go to 3.8. We always round it up because the machine doesn't cut exactly straight when it's cutting. It cuts at an angle ever so slightly, so if you make it a tiny bit bigger, it'll be the perfect size. Saves you a lot of work later on. Come here, D. Tell me what you think. Does that look like that?
Looks good to me. You paid attention in school.
A little bit, every now and then, when I went.
I like it.
All right, so let's get this thing all homed in and do a test run real quick. So we're gonna do one cut on one piece, and we're gonna check it and make sure it's what it needs to be before we cut them all out so we ain't wasting a lot of metal. How's it look?
Money.
I love it when a plan comes together, man.
All right, Robert got this all burned out. Fits perfect. This is one of 16, so 16 more to go.
When you're going through college, did you think, hey, I'm gonna go open up a business and do automotive work?
I always did say I wanted to make just enough money to go work on cars all day. We are Mod Mafia. We focus on Hummer H1s and Humvees.
It's been a fun business, so we're going into our eighth year.
8th year of business, yep. So we worked together in oil and gas. About 16 years ago, I got my first Hummer H1 and started that whole path of modifying and buying aftermarket parts and built up this big truck. And then saw Josh at work one day and he's like, man, I want one of those.
Yeah.
You know, one weekend we work on my truck, the next weekend we work on your truck. We're like, this is really expensive to do personally.
Yeah. And that's really what drove us to start looking into what do we got to do to make these bulletproof and reliable so we didn't just blow budgets.
And we started making those parts for ours so we wouldn't have those problems. And then people are like, well, hey, you know, can I buy that from you?
We really looked at it as a side hustle.
Because we're only planning to sell parts. But it's a 600 square foot shop.
Right.
Like
yeah.
it was small.
And it's kind of developed into what it is today. Yeah, it's been quite a ride.
Yeah. Good, how you doing?
Good.
What brings you in?
Well, we're having some issues with this Jeep. You know, Dan loved this Jeep when we first got it. It had
right.
the Hellcat engine. It took us forever to find this thing.
Right.
Something's just not right. Now, it's just sitting in a garage
Well, why?
because he just doesn't feel safe driving it.
Carolyn and her husband Dan have been customers for a long time now. We've done several big builds for them, including a couple Hummers. There aren't a lot of Gladiators with Hellcat engine swaps out there. Right after they got it, they brought it to us for a few little things: a front winch bumper, matching rear bumper, and rocker panel protection.
When you're cruising about highway speed, it literally is like skating across the freeway.
It's kind of like floating, or is it like shaking?
More like floating.
Okay, so the hair on the back of your neck stands up like, this is not right.
You almost feel
Okay.
like you're in a jet engine taking off.
If a car's not safe, it's not fun. You know, the best bet is to probably get in the truck and take it for a test drive and see what you're talking about.
Let's go.
All right. It's always frustrating buying a specialty vehicle that you really care about and not being able to use it. And when the same truck has twice the horsepower that it originally came with, it's definitely worth taking on a test drive. So you were saying there were some issues around 55 miles an hour in the steering?
Correct. 55, 60.
Okay, let's get up there. Wow, it's got some power. Oh, wow.
See how it kind of,
Yeah.
it's almost like you're just literally flying
Yep, like that.
and you are up off the
Yep.
ground. See, you're all over the road. It's
Especially when the 18-wheelers come by, they bring a lot of wind with them. Yeah, there it goes again. You start getting that wind. I've been in a wide range of vehicles, but never been in a Gladiator that had a Hellcat engine in it. It's obvious right away that it has a ton of power, but it doesn't have the steering or brake control that's needed. This is not a vehicle I'd want any of my family members in on a highway.
So what you thinking?
Well, that is definitely a scary feeling. I definitely felt and experienced that float that you were talking about, very unsettling. You never want to feel that behind the steering wheel of any vehicle doing anything.
Yeah.
One thing I'd really recommend probably be a set of axles on it. They'll have much bigger joints, so they'll last longer, and they'll be a lot stronger, and it'll give you much bigger brakes front and rear, which, let's be honest, this rocket needs some brakes.
Exactly.
If we go the axle route, we're probably gonna have to change tires and wheels. I think one thing that'd be nice about it is getting rid of the gray face on the wheel and have it be all black.
I agree. So I had some other ideas. I'll pick your brain on this
Okay.
one. What do you think about, I don't know, dolling it up is what I would call it.
Well, I don't know if dolling it up is the technical term, but I think I know what you're getting at here. What if we build a brush guard that looks like one of our other brush guards that we've already designed? That'll go up over the hood.
Okay.
And you really don't see those in the Jeep world, which will be really custom, and we know how much Dan likes custom.
Kind of similar to the Hummer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very similar to one of the last Hummers we did for y'all.
Sounds great. So the real question is, you think you can have it done by his birthday?
We'll make it happen.
Wow, what do we have here?
It's a Hellcat swap Jeep. It's one of Dan's.
So is this coming back in for service, or what are we doing with it this time around?
At speed, at over like 60 mile an hour, it gets real light. I went on a test drive, and it's rightfully scary.
Sketchy?
Oh, yeah. We need to look at the suspension joints, find out which ones are the issues. Looked at the drag link already. It's real loose, so it's probably the primary culprit. Most likely changing the axle assemblies, front and rear, would really step up the strength a lot. It makes the joints bigger all the way around, and it addresses brakes. So 700 horsepower, this thing scoots. Changing the joints will get rid of that looseness that we're feeling in the steering, especially at speed.
People, they chase horsepower, and then they don't realize all the supporting mods that need to go with it. So I think we're on the right track, and I think Dan will be pretty happy about it.
Absolutely. So I think Carolyn wants us to do a little more than just make it drive down the road great. She wants something that has that extra, show to it. We're thinking about doing a brush guard.
Ooh, you don't see too many brush guards on these.
I've never seen that done on a Jeep before.
So I think what we could do is use our Spec Ops brush guard, which Dan was a fan
Sure.
of. We haven't got one developed for the Jeep yet, but I think we could come up with a mounting system that bolts to his front winch bumper.
Yep.
And then do that big overarching clam over the top of it.
Yeah.
So I think it'll look nice. It'll really capture the front end of it, right?
Absolutely.
Well, cool. Let's go nail it.
Boom.
Before we can get to fixing this Jeep, we've asked Miguel to rip out all the components that are causing issues, starting with the axle.
This Gladiator is pushing 700 horsepower, so the axles got now, eventually they're gonna blow up, so we're gonna put some beefier axles on there. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen all the components on the axles, like control arms, shocks, and track bar. Yeah, so I just removed the front drive shaft, now I'm removing the rear drive shaft, and these are two-piece drive shafts, but we're gonna go ahead and be replacing this one with a one-piece drive shaft. One-piece drive shaft is a lot stronger and it'll last longer. I'm gonna take the front calipers off. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and start disconnecting all the cables. All right, I have this where I want it. All the control arms are loose. The lower shock bolt is loose. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the coils. That way, when I actually remove the axle, I don't have to worry about that spring tension. We gotta make sure we don't mix these up because they are corner specific. Got everything disconnected. Now it's time to separate the body from the axles. Hopefully everything's disconnected correctly and body will come off with no problems. That works.
So we're installing new solid axles under the 2021 Jeep Gladiator. They're a lot stronger and beefier than the stock axles. So it can handle anything you throw at it, roads and off-roads, you name it.
Usually see these in the heavy-duty trucks like F-250s and above, and also the Dodge 2500s and above. But we're gonna put this one under this Gladiator, and it's gonna be a really, really good upgrade for this project. Now we can go up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and drill holes in the center of this spring perch so I can bolt these spacers when it's time to put the coils on there. Reason we need bump stop spacers is because this vehicle is lifted. When we hit bumps, we don't want this to compress so much to where the shock will slam against the axle. These are adjustable as well, but this one's already adjusted to the max due to the engine it has. This engine's so heavy, they went ahead and put 3 pucks to help with the bumps. When you hit a bump, it would hit the bump stop before it destroys the shock. These axles come with 1-ton brakes. They're definitely gonna help this beast stop on a dime. Got the brakes on, they're all 4 corners are plumbed, so now I'm gonna jump on the steering.
Not every customer that walks in here has an open wallet. Earl asked us only to do what we needed to turn this Samurai into a rock crawler, especially because he found it on the side of the road. You know, we got lucky. This engine only needed a little bit of oil and some cleaning up. But the suspension and axles, that's a different story. So we asked our master welder, Kike, to get in there and reinforce his axle with a truss.
We got the truss mounted up, tacked down. You know, it's very important because it keeps this from bending. You know, it's real weak here because it, on one side, is longer than the other, and it also gives us a place to mount up our tabs for our 4-link.
Woo, man, you got it looking good. Definitely gonna be a lot stronger now. Can't have things bending, you know?
We sure can't, man.
Let's get it done there.
Come on.
Probably good, huh?
Kike got the axle truss all welded up. We got our plumb bob centered up on the center of the axle. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna measure off this body mount here. And I'm gonna make sure they're the same on both sides.
We got 2 3/4.
Yes, sir. And we'll go ahead and get our brackets that Kike welded up. We'll go ahead and we'll tack all 4 in and then double check all our measurements. All right, now that I got the tab mocked up on the axle, we got our tabs marked up on the inner frame. You're gonna measure from bong to bong. And we'll go over to the chop saw and cut a link bar. Unlike a normal suspension, a rock crawler needs to fully articulate to be able to crawl over things. You know, longer travel shocks means bigger objects for the 4-link to do what it needs to do. Now that I got the link bar cut to the length we need, we're gonna take this bong, and not the bong that you used in college. This is for the heim joint. This is gonna go in here, you're gonna weld it, and it's threaded for a heim to screw in. There we go, there we go.
There she goes.
Now that we got everything tacked in place, we'll go ahead and get the master welder, Kike, over here. He'll be real happy about burning all this in, man. You know, he just loves to weld. It's a little hot, but he'll be all right. Now we gotta work on getting these shocks fitted. So you'll start by measuring where you want your ride height, which on this shock, it's half travel. So I got that measured out. We'll have to get Robert in here, and he's gonna have to cut away these old brackets, and we'll design new ones for this longer travel shock. This is a coil spring shock, so it'll have 2 springs. It's nitrogen charged, which is gonna give you a better ride. I mean, you could jump it if you wanted to. That's up to him. I know me and Robert would jump it. You know, it's gonna allow it to travel and also flex a lot more than a leaf spring. A leaf spring will bounce you to death. You know, this thing right here, this is latest, greatest technology. You can clearly see that this shock is way taller than the old one used to be. We're gonna have to go in here, we're gonna have to build a mount for this shock so it'll sit at the right height that we want it because of the longer travel. And just like that, we got a shock tab.
All right, now we got these shock tabs all cleaned up. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna put them on the truck, see if all this comes together. Man, that's perfect. Look at this.
To me, you can't do the wrong thing. It's, you know?
It's just as long as you get outside and build something, you know?
Definitely weren't playing video games when we were kids.
You had video games?
No.
Oh.
No, I had a stick welder.
Oh. I was doing a little better than you. I had a small MIG.
Saying that's what I like about this. You know, one big thing about rock crawling culture is you get stuck. And man, that happens to the best of us. This Samurai rock crawler has to be able to pull itself out of a hole with a winch. The owner, Earl, has a winch he would like to use, but he needs a place to mount it. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this front section of pipe.
That's it. So I cut it off here even so we could make sure that there wasn't gonna be a hole inside this pipe when we got there. There's not, luckily, they just welded it to it and butt welded it. But we're gonna go ahead and clean it up a little better now with the torch so that I can see what I got going on. We'll come back with the grinder, smooth it all down, and we'll have something to start over from.
You got your end? Yep.
Come on with it. That's the way it goes. I think it'll fit.
And actually, yeah.
Think down that low?
Nah, it's gonna have to be higher. Let me get some blocks and we'll block it up a little higher.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's find something to stick under it.
See what it looks like with this. Set it on there. What you got there? That's not horrible either.
No.
So what we're doing here is we're just using random pieces that we have laying around to see where the winch fits the best. And we're gonna go ahead and mount it on this top part of this frame section right here. Okay, so right now I'm making the plate for the winch. It takes a little time, but this machine is just amazing.
Let's get it squared up, tacked on there. So we went with 3/8 material on this winch mount, which is kind of overkill, but I can guarantee you that the winch will break before this plate comes off the frame.
We're working on the performance on the Jeep Gladiator on one side of the shop, and our fab department's already started working on the brush guard. Brush guards are there to protect the front of the truck on and off-road. We started with our own proprietary brush guard design for the Hummers and created one just for this Jeep. We sent our design out to get laser cut and bent, and Austin and James are gonna put those pipes together like a puzzle.
This is our first Gladiator brush guard we're building, so this is the first jig we're having to put together for this brush guard. The jig is what holds all of our pieces together for the brush guard to make sure they're all in place where they need to be, so that as we're welding them out, those pipes can't move, they can't warp, they can't do anything. They're stuck where we put them. My helper is James. He's actually my little brother. I brought him on with me about 2 years ago here at Mod Mafia. Number 5 with the notch up top.
He kind of got me into welding when I was around 15, and we get along great, and we just learn more and more every day together.
Everybody thinks that there'd be conflict all the time, and it's not. We work great together.
So we're getting into cleaning the Gladiator brush guard parts here. We need to get all this nasty mill scale and rust off of here. Otherwise, you know, it's just not gonna weld good at all, and we can't have that around here.
James is finished up cleaning up every point we're gonna be welding at. So we got all our pieces back in here. Now we're ready to start fitting it all up and get it all in its home. It's extremely important to get every piece perfect because when you put this on the truck, if I'm off a little bit on this side, it's gonna show on that body line of the vehicle. Gotta have everything flush, lined up, just perfect before we start tacking it together. Now these pipes don't fit quite correctly, and it turns out this ear is not supposed to be here. We're gonna freehand mark it and get the plasma out and cut it. Oh, wow. First try. Let's get this tacked in. Bam, tacked up.
Looks good.
The brush guard from the Jeep is back from powder.
Let's set this over here.
Braden and Miguel are installing that along with some new lights. Between the brush guard, wheels, brakes, and the beefier axles, this Jeep is gonna have a cool new Hummer look. More importantly, it's now built to handle all that Hellcat power.
You know those lights that have at the movie premieres?
A little bit more. Right there.
Perfect. We did good.
After some much needed repairs and some cool mods, Dan's Jeep is now ready for the road. Dan just pulled up in a pretty awesome Hummer.
Did we work on that?
Yeah.
It was a big project.
Yeah. How's it going?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Man, that's a good looking truck, dude.
I know. It's great to see you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't wait, man.
Yeah?
I couldn't wait to get here.
Where's your wife at?
She's out of town, but I heard my Jeep was ready.
When Carolyn brought the Jeep in, you had a lot of problems.
Oh, yeah. It's got too much horsepower.
Dan, it did not have too much horsepower. It didn't have enough suspension.
Oh, well.
Well, anyways, we got all that stuff addressed.
So it's safe?
Yes. And there's a couple little extras we put on there per Carolyn's request.
Okay.
So you ready to see it, man?
You bet. Let's see it.
Hey, Josh, bring it out.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Holy cow. Oh, you nailed it. Oh, my God. Wow. The Jeep looks absolutely amazing. I was completely blown away when he pulled out.
How do you like it?
Oh, I love it, man. You guys absolutely outdid yourself.
Well, you probably obviously noticed all the aesthetics to it. You know, it looks very Hummerish.
It does.
We've Hummerfied it as much as we could because we know you love your trucks.
I love it. It's like a mini Hummer.
First order of business was getting a hold of the axles and getting all the steering stuff sorted out. You know?
Nice.
So you got to be safe, you know, your brakes are updated, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's a lot better. And with the size of the axle increase, all the joints have gotten so much bigger, so you have a lot more reliability, long-term use.
You put the Hummer wheels on it.
The Hummer
too.
wheels, yep.
It's heavy duty, it's on 8 lug now, so it's meant to handle some power, meant to handle some torque. This engine especially, I think you're really gonna love the drive.
And most importantly, it's safe and fun again.
Well, that's all that's important. The size of the axles obviously has been increased, and it looks like a major improvement, so I really think that the handling of the Jeep's gonna be so much better, and I'll be able to drive it safely now.
We were clued in that you liked the Spec Ops brush guard that we make for the Hummer.
Yep.
So we really made it tailor fit to your Jeep.
That is just incredible. This thing's beautiful.
So check out how we designed this. We had to make it so it could come open so you get to that Hellcat on the inside.
Oh, wow.
So this comes forward.
Easy.
This is incredible. I can't believe y'all managed to engineer this thing. I absolutely love this brush guard. The fact that they incorporated a signature D-ring brush guard look into a Jeep is completely out of this planet, man. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah,
I see y'all added the lights to it as well.
Yep, so you get tons of light out in front of you.
Well, y'all definitely nailed it. I'm gonna have to thank my wife for putting you guys onto that whole cage. I can't thank you enough.
I mean, it was a team effort for sure.
I love it.
We're glad you love it.
As
Glad
always.
you love it, Dan. Not only does this truck look great, it drives great.
This truck feels so plain, it feels like a completely different truck.
Great.
Boy, it has a lot of acceleration.
Yeah.
I forgot how fun this was to drive.
You know, you have a lot of options when you're building a rock crawler, but one of the must-haves is a stinger. And what the Stinger does is, one is to winch yourself up. If you're in a bind, you can run the cable up through it. But also, if you run up to a rock or a ledge or a wall, the Stinger will actually help push you up for your tires to get traction. And we'll go ahead and start trimming it up and cope the pipe to fit to the winch mount and bumper. So now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna cut the angle that Robert had marked out for me. I might have to go back and, you know, massage it a little bit with the grinding wheel. As I get the degree that we want the Stinger, I have to clean up the pipe on this side a little bit to close up the gap in the back. Now, you want to make sure not to take too much off, man, even if it just takes a little at a time. Keep going over there and test fitting it. Make sure you get it right. You take too much off, you know, you can't really add nothing back to it. So we'll do a little bit and come check it and come back again and do it all over until we're happy with it.
Looks pretty legit to me.
All right, get the welder and tack it up. I'm gonna lay out some tape lines, basically simulating some pipe. It's important to brace up this Stinger because, I mean, if you wanna go up and run up over a tree or something, you don't want this to be able to bend or possibly break off anywhere. So we'll go ahead and we'll add in some more pipe to strengthen it up.
So, what do you think?
To me, it's just too much going on out here. Let's just build those two pipes and we'll go from there.
An old man taught me this trick because they didn't have pipe notchers when he was a kid. And you can use this as a pattern for how big I need to notch this piece out when I get my torch out. That way I'm not just wasting material and just trying to freehand it. This is gonna get me close. It's not gonna be perfect. We're gonna have to grind on it, but it's gonna get me real close.
Got it trimmed out a little bit. This is the slow process where I'll go in and I'll start grinding it, shaping it, and making it fit. And Robert can get cutting and trimming on this side. Now I'll go in and I'll start welding everything in. All right, I got this thing all burned in, got the winch mount welded up, I got the Stinger welded up, I got it braced up. I mean, this thing ain't going nowhere. You can hit a tree, you can hit a rock. I mean, pretty much whatever you want to hit with this, I'm very comfortable you're not gonna tear this up. Now we can go ahead and get everything sanded, primered, and get the front of the vehicle done, painted, and final assembly time. You know, there's really no way to describe what it's like to ride in one of these trucks or go through a bounty hole. I mean, you just have to get in and do it yourself. You know, when we were kids, we used to take our bicycles out, go hit the ditch, go mudding, go make trails. We kind of just turned that into trucks now. People started asking me, you know, where did I buy this truck at? And I told them, I built it myself. And you know, that really put Wide Open Garage on the map, you know, from going to these events and people actually seeing the truck. So since the first build of Hitman, I've had 7 different versions of it now. Now we have Hitman 8. You know, over the years, every time I've broke it or wrecked it, I just keep evolving better ways to make it faster and bigger. I've definitely learned how to push this truck to its limit. I'm not afraid to roll this thing over and tear something up. My favorite thing about the Hitman would have to be the horsepower. I'm a sucker for horsepower.
Oh, man.
Check that out.
Man, that color, though.
What do you think?
Woo. I like it.
The suspension is back from powder coat on the rock crawler. Now we're doing final assembly, and this thing is gonna be good to go.
Hit it. Right there, that's it.
Looking good, looking good.
We were able to use these old wheels, so we redesigned them and gave them some powder coat.
There we go.
All right, got it. Now we're just double checking everything while we got it up on the lift. Robert and Dad got the exhaust, drive shaft in it. Got to put the gas tank in it, the dash, the doors, the windshield. You know, just triple check everything. You know, when you have something apart like this, you got to really check over everything. What's going on, Earl?
Not much, Daniel. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. I'm enjoying this beautiful day.
Well, it's pretty nice outside.
Man, I'm happy. The sun's out. Puts me in a good mood.
Hopefully you put me in a good mood.
Oh, okay. I tell you what, man, when you found this thing and you called us to come take a look at it, I was skeptical about it. You know, that thing looked rough, but it was free. And the main thing for us was, did it run? And luckily, man, that thing purrs. It runs perfect.
It runs?
It runs.
Wow.
So that really gave us opportunity to concentrate on what you wanted, you know, something reliable, be able to articulate, flex, you know, trail ride.
Well, that's what I asked for, and that's why I brought it to you.
Well, I'm excited, man. I really like the truck. It turned out nice, man.
Can I see it?
Man, Dad and Robert out back. Hopefully they didn't get it too dirty. Let's holler at him. We'll check it out.
No problem.
Hey, Dad!
Oh, wow! That's the same one?
That's the same. What you think?
Oh, damn! That's unbelievable. That is great.
A little different now, huh?
Yeah, I can't believe that. That is exactly what I wanted.
Come on, gasser. There you go. Come on, right there.
That is a lot of suspension, brother.
Yeah, it travels, huh?
Oh, yeah. Seeing the truck up on the tire means I can basically go anywhere I want to go. Cannot believe this.
What do you think, Earl? What do you think?
It is crazy. I love it.
We did a little work on this thing, Earl. We went ahead and did a 4-link suspension in the front. We got a 16-inch travel coil over on it. You know, we got plenty of travel, you know, for whatever you want to do.
Man, this thing ought to be great crawling over any rocks that I want to get to.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't gonna need any ramps to get on the trailer with this one.
No, I don't think so.
You know, we did a stinger on the front, and we went ahead and throwed in a winch plate up there. You know, I don't know how extreme you want to get, but you can bolt down any winch of your choice. You know, I don't know if you're gonna get this thing stuck.
It always gets stuck when you're rock crawling. You
Right.
always need a winch to help you out. Oh, yeah.
We also went with full hydraulic steering on this thing, you know, so you turn this baby one hand no matter which direction you want to go. You're not gonna have any steering problems.
That is cool. I love it.
We also went ahead and took that stock Samurai grill. That thing was just kind of screwed to there. We went ahead and, you know, put a little style into it.
You know, I asked for everything, and y'all came through with it. It's amazing.
I'm glad you like it, man.
So remember those wheels that were with this truck when we got it?
Yes.
Well, we were able to reuse those same wheels. What we did is we cut the center out and we reused the rock ring and we painted all this and had the rock rings powder coated.
Wow, it looks great.
You can't even tell that's the same wheel, huh?
No, it doesn't look the same, I can guarantee you.
You know, Earl, we got a little crazy with the powder coat underneath. And, you know, something about it that just needed more. So we went ahead and I tied in some blue in here as well. We had to remove the dash. We did the door panels as well, you know, so it kind of all flows together and matches. We also left those shifters, man. We really like those shifters and those gear wrenches.
I appreciate it. I love those. Those are one of a kind.
We got a kick out of that.
Oh,
so.
yeah. I couldn't ask for a better build. It looks great.
Well, we're glad you're happy with it, sir.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
You know, Earl, everything we do at this shop is purpose-built. And I tell you what, once you jump in the passenger seat, I'll jump in the driver's seat, and I'll show you what this thing will really do.
All right, brother, let's take a ride.
Come on.
I gave them free range to do whatever they wanted to do, and they took it to the next level. I can't wait to get the vehicle out to the hill country and climb a lot of rocks. Go, baby, go!
Hang on, Earl, hang on!
Go!
You know, I don't think Earl expected me to drive over that Mustang like that, but I could tell right now he was kind of jealous he wasn't in the driver's seat. She's all yours, man. Have fun.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I love this thing.
I didn't mean to leave Earl stranded on top of those Mustangs, but he got to figure out how this thing works. You know, I can only show him so much. I'll see you later, buddy. Have a good time.
Hey, really?
You're on your own.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I can't thank you guys enough. The vehicle is amazing. Y'all did an excellent job. This thing is going to be so fun.